Hi, everyone, and welcome to Book Club with Bay. I am Bay, and this is Bay. Say hi, Bay.
Hi, Bay.
And this is other Bay. Say hi.
Hello.
And today we're talking about Blue Moon, which is the second book in the Immortals series by Alyson Noel.
What did you think?
So my first, I'll start with some positives. I'll start with some positive thoughts before we jump into ratings.
Just positive?
Yeah.
I'll start with my positive thoughts. Okay. More happened.
I thought less happened.
Well, last one was girl meets boy.
That's true.
Boy's like, I've loved you for 600 years. Boy's wife shows up, wife dies.
Yes.
Like, that's kind of the plot of the last one. Whereas this one, it's like, you guy shows up, weird things are afoot, time travel.
Fucking for no damn reason.
Oh,
and then a no sex curse.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's that ever bloom, as we discover this book, if you will, is actually directly involved in everything that happens.
Yes.
Whereas last book, she was directly involved in nothing that happened.
Except for meeting the boy, yeah.
Except for meeting the boy, yes. So
she did directly kill wifey. Like, she did directly kill Drina last book.
But most of the book
other than that, she was mostly passive.
Yeah, most of the book was spent with her looking around, going, "Whoa, that's crazy."
Things are afoot.
Yeah.
And this one, she was actually active and did stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I completely forgot about the existence of. Is it Rummy and Rain?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I completely forgot about their existence. I'm pretty sure they continue to be people.
Nah.
I haven't read this series in like over a decade, minus the first two books, and I don't even know if I'd gotten to start the third by the time she rage quit. Because obviously,
I'm excited for the third one now.
Time. Yeah. Your mission next book will be to guess the scene.
Guess the scene that made her rage quit?
Yes.
No, when you asked me if this made me rage quit, no, this is because I know that you're convinced that because Addie was texting us like, this is one of the craziest things I've ever read. What the heck?
It's just stupid. It's just so stupid. Nothing made sense.
It is. We'll talk about that. It's a stupid sandwich. You know what? Here's my food rating. When Gordon Ramsay piece slices of bread like on somebody's face, that's my food rating. And what are you, an idiot sandwich? I know it's not really consumable food, but it doesn't have to be. We make the rules.
It's a consumable.
It's you know what? It's 2/3 of a consumable, so I'm rolling with it. That's
if your name's Jeffrey Dahmer, it's 100%.
I was about to say, if you try hard enough,
you know what? If you're okay, I would very much like to steal your rating.
I third that. May I also steal your rating?
Absolutely. So when you were texting us, like, is this what made you rage quit? And also, wow, this is so crazy. I can't believe it. We're talking about Blue Moon by Alyson Noel. I was like, I don't think so, because I remember a lot. No. I remembered a lot about this book, and
it's definitely book 3.
I was like, I'm pretty sure it's definitely in book 3. And then as I got further, I was like, no, because you were like, this is insane, and I was like, no, it's not.
My words were, it was stupid and fucking hilarious. The ending is, oh my god, the ending is so funny to me.
Because while it is definitely insane, sort of like the first time you read it, it's rage inducing. Yes. But after reading the third one in the series, this is not as insane as it gets.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, the only clue I will offer is the circumstances that lead to the rage quit scene are precipitated somewhere in this book.
Is it the no sex curse?
I am not answering yes or no.
Because that's what made me die. Was the
Oh, that
was
is
when-
ridiculous. That is
It's so
absolutely
fucking
ridiculous.
Right. Which speaking
But
of,
then, it's like, I mean, like the no DNA sharing whatsoever. So, like, if she just like coughs in his general direction, he could die.
okay, all right, everybody back, pause.
Yep.
So
Wait, we didn't do our other two ratings. I'm pretty
well,
sure
I don't
we
think
like we
don't
any
didn't
of us
have,
stand.
honestly, like
But what I'm curious is what level of whelmed were the two of you?
all of the whelmed. I was overwhelmed with laughter at the end. I was underwhelmed for most of the book. I was very underwhelmed when fucking Ever is a serial B&E'er. She loves breaking and entering into houses, man.
Oh yeah.
she needs help.
And
Um,
I also think we also just because obviously like we listen to the audiobook, you
Mhm.
read it.
Yep.
You are so damn lucky that you did not have to hear
the worst British accent on the
a,
planet.
a specific
Dude.
accent.
Oh yeah. As soon as
It
because
is.
the way she writes it is so cringy as well.
Oh, is it?
Oh, she writes
It's-
it.
Yeah, she writes the accent.
Oh,
Oh,
she-
Memento.
It's cringe.
I
Oh,
need
never
to-
mind. I don't have it. Just kidding.
It's on a drive of undisclosed name.
Hang on, I can find it. Oh, he comes in like. No, he doesn't come in like chapter 2. I'm just gonna search Roman.
Sorry, everybody. Excuse us while we get sidetracked.
Yeah. Also, can we just take a second to appreciate just how many chapters she manages to fit into these freaking books? 51.
Well, it's
51
mostly,
books.
it's mostly because the chapters are like, how can I put this? 2 seconds long.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
So-
I think
Alright. I sent
I
it
don't
in
know
our
about you
side chat.
two. Okay. I don't know if you guys would agree on this though, but at this point, I'm used to the present tense.
Yeah, like it's fine. It's not my
Like,
favorite.
I've
but
adjusted
whatever.
now.
I still don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's ideal.
No.
But yeah, once you get used to it, it's not as bad. Okay, yeah, yes, this is terrible. I'm gonna copy and paste this.
Yeah.
Oh
Too.
god. So she actually because I actually just had a look. I was expecting the apostrophes. I was expecting those. I wasn't expecting the what.
Yeah.
I think
That's how she types him. And I hate it.
So
Yeah.
so by the way, writing advice from book club with Bay, sometimes we do this. The popular consensus now, with academic writing, the rules are a lot more rigid. With fiction writing, there are rules, but not really.
Mhm.
It's a lot more lax because it's fiction. So the things that you can do, even grammar wise, are kind of flexible. But the general rule when it comes to writing out accents is that you can simply say this person has an accent. So if someone has like a British accent, you can say they have a British accent and or whatever. If you want to get more specific, they sound like they're from, I don't know, Birmingham.
Sorry, I was just flicking through the book and I just realized Speaking of rules, when writing fiction, what is a general rule in terms of dialogue? One person speaking per paragraph.
Oh yeah,
That's
Yeah.
generally a general.
it's all over the place in this book.
Like I
It's
am going
so weird.
to.
It's so weird.
I'm going to copy this. I mean, it's long, but this is one paragraph. Okay.
So, but the other thing about accents, while you do that,
Oh,
Is that-
no, sorry, it didn't. It didn't do the whole thing. You know what I might actually do? I might just share my screen.
is it something like this?
I'll bring it up. Share.
Something like this is not a sin, a huge sin,
No.
because that is.
Oh, where did it go?
Oh, I
Give me
have
1
it up here.
second.
But the what?
Yeah,
That's
Something like this is not really a sin because there are some accents that genuinely drop that last G much harder than others.
Mhm.
And like one series that massively does, I have lost where the hell I just was because I tried to zoom. Give me a minute. Yeah, one series that massively takes advantage of the using apostrophes, dropping letters, all that stuff is Harry Potter.
Outlander
but
does
only
it
with
too.
yeah, but only with very specific characters. Hagrid, because he has an incredibly rough accent, and then there's Stan Shunpike, who is the conductor of the night bus, and the main thing with him is he doesn't say "What are you?" He says the 3 words combined to chew. So it's like chew looking at. So, but only with the roughest of the accents.
Right.
if
So
that makes
to
sense.
express an accent, so the point is to express an accent just in general. You don't have to do any of this craziness. To express a very specific expression of an accent, limited this stuff is acceptable, although some people, so it does rub some, it's a whole thing. There's discourse about it that I'm not going to get into, because
So,
yeah, anyway.
yeah. So this is Eva. I undid my lunch pack, going through the motions, still blah blah blah, and then Roman's like, "Hey mate, what time's the premiere?" And then we
Isn't
go
A
straight
like
to
AYE?
Yes, it
Okay.
is.
Sorry.
yeah, and then we go straight to Miles.
Yeah. And then straight back to Roman.
Yep. And then a whole bunch, and then
Is this
Haven.
the way that it was originally formatted, though? Is it possible
Yes.
that okay?
No, this is the original formatting. And then Haven.
That's,
This is like Eva doing stuff, Roman talking, Miles talking, Roman talking, a little bit more editorial, Haven talking, more editorial.
that's
Yep.
crazy. That's ridiculous.
One paragraph.
Yep.
By the way-
That's the whole book.
Don't
Yeah.
ever do that.
If you were ever worried about getting published, at least like they'll publish anything apparently when it comes to YA. And like people are worried with self-publishing, like, oh, the barrier to entry is like nothing. Well, apparently the barrier to entry to traditional publishing is nothing. Usually the difference is like it's garbage with no typos. But I guess in this case that's not true.
Everything about this series is trash. Like,
It's
the writing style, the plot,
Yeah.
the characters.
the plot.
Okay, wait. There is possibly 2 characters that I could think of at this point that I stand.
Oh,
Aunt,
all right.
She's trying. Aunt's trying. Okay, she's
Yeah.
doing her fucking best.
Sabine is trying. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Muniz.
The one that's into her.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I can.
I
can-
like him.
So
I
I
like
like him
him.
too.
yeah, so we're gonna go over like our stuff. So let's start. So real quick, we're gonna recap some characters.
Yep.
I think it'll be easier. We usually don't do this for series, but I think we should start doing it.
It's also been a month since we did the last book, so I think it's
It's been a minute.
So Ever is our main character. She's 16. By the way, this book begins 3 weeks after the last book. We'll also recap the last book in a second. Ever's our main character. In the last book, we learned that her parents did a dead, and her parents, her sister, and Buttercup, their dog, died.
Sweet
Died in a car crash, and so now she's living with her aunt in Laguna Beach, California.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So her aunt's name is Sabine.
The year after the reality show was filmed at her high school. That was mentioned last book, and I forgot about it till this one. There's a quick reference to, do you remember the MTV reality show Laguna? Was it Laguna Beach? Was that the name of it?
I don't know.
That might have been when you guys were, because I'm also older than you. It was after the OC became a really popular show, and then they did a reality show called, I think, Laguna Beach, and then there was the city, then the hills.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
2004.
Lauren Conrad was and this is set at the same high school.
Okay.
And there's a passing reference to it.
Yeah, in 2004 we were like
7.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to sidetrack. I'm sorry, but yeah, she lives at Laguna Beach.
Yes.
So, Riley was, her sister. She's not really in this book, but she was a character last book. Sabine is her aunt. Sabine is a lawyer. Then there's Damon, who, what we know about him is that he is sexy, amazing, gorgeous, hot, wonderful.
600 years old.
Hold on, I'm not done. Amazing, hot, sexy, the best, amazing, hot, good at everything, and 600 years old.
And he is the one who taught Picasso how to paint.
Amongst many other masters, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes, amongst many, many other famous artists. But
we're just gonna leave that at that, because
Haven,
that's a rabbit hole not to touch.
Haven's one of our best friends.
Honestly,
she's such a bitch and hater.
Yeah. Ever, I don't know how to describe Ever's personality.
I don't either. It's
the only thing that she wants is Damon, which is not.
She's
not a personality.
Bella.
Oh yeah.
Or she's Elena.
Yeah.
She's your standard. She's your standard YA female protagonist of the noughties era.
Yeah.
But there's
honestly,
really
this reads more like OG, like the book,
Vampire Diaries books. It does. It really does.
Than it does, because Twilight wasn't out yet, I don't think.
Twilight was out.
Okay, but Twilight didn't really get. I don't know when it got
popular yet.
I think Twilight got popular around Breaking Dawn.
Yeah,
being published.
So it reads more, especially because he's Italian, 600 years old, which is like the Salvatores in the original series, in the original book series. Anyway, and Elena's only driving motivation in the actual books is
Stefan.
Must have Stefan.
So I don't know how to describe Ever's personality, but her friends fucking hate her. Haven.
Dude, I know.
I think Miles likes her.
Yeah, but Miles is just a nothing burger. He's just his entire identity. This book is the play.
Well, okay, so really real quick with Haven, the only thing that we know about her is that she's easily influenced by other people.
Yes.
She takes on whatever identity the people who are hanging out with her have.
But she has a more goth style as a general rule. Because it was
Miles
written
is
in the noughties and you have to have the goth friend.
right. Miles is our 2000s standard,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
required gay best friend.
Yep.
Yes.
You would get crucified these days if you wrote a gay person this way, but back then it was
He's
very
still less offensive than Damien.
Dude,
for
everyone's
sure.
less offensive than Damien, man.
Except for Jack, but
True.
Honestly, out of Damien and Jack, is one of them more offensive than the other, or just differently offensive?
Jack is more offensive,
Actually,
I think.
I don't know.
I think Jack's more offensive.
Yeah,
but
because
we'd
Jack
have
is so
to.
much more infantilized.
Yes.
Oh, he's a toddler. Like, I'm
Yeah.
surprised that he didn't walk around with his binky. I'm
Yes,
not actually sure what a binky is, but I know babies like them.
A pacifier
What
or
is it?
pacifiers?
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it? Okay,
That's-
no worries.
yeah.
Now I know what a binky is.
In my household, a binky was a blanket, and a pacifier
That's
was
why-
a pacifier. So even in America,
Well-
nothing's consistent.
Yeah, we don't even use the term pacifier here. It's just a dummy.
But yeah, Miles, he wants to be an actor on the Broadway.
Yep.
I don't know if that's stereotypical or not. I guess it
I
is.
feel like that is a stereotype.
I guess that's a stereotype. It's a more creative stereotype, especially for the time, than interior decorator. So good for
Yeah.
her. Or at least a more niche stereotype than interior decorator. So,
Fair.
yeah. And Drina was
Damon's wife.
Damon's wife. Yeah.
Yes.
Who
She died.
murdered. Anyway.
Yeah, and one thing that was just really funny was she was just like, why were you still married to her? And he's just like, it's not like I could walk in with a 600-year-old.
They were your marriage
Wedding
license and divorce her,
certificate.
yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to divorce someone that I married 558 years ago ever?
But also, like, in that case, would any court of law even recognize the marriage?
No, because like the name could just be the same, but also like, how do marriage licenses work across country lines?
Well, these days,
So most countries recognize other countries.
but
Yeah.
I don't. But
I don't think they would for like 600-year-old marriage
Well,
license.
here's the thing,
It could just
it's
be
not
named the same thing.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
This is not a thing that we have to worry about.
Yeah, like he's never like him and Eva could go get married tomorrow, and no court's going to be like, hang on a second,
You're married as
600
of 600 years ago.
you're a bigamist.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they would just be like, okay, you have the same name as someone in your family tree. But also, does the United States even have like access
Well,
to?
and
like,
also he has
old
goes by
Italian
a different name
records?
now. He used to be Damon August something else, and now it's just Damon August.
Yeah, then it's fine. Then he's really not even married.
Yeah, but like
Like
legally,
ethically speaking, is he still married? Like that's the biggest question. Was he
No.
ethically still married before
unless they signed new papers
Yeah, every
Like-
like 100 years.
honestly in the last 5 years.
Yes. But also he's
He's
masquerading
as
around like he's like 17.
Yeah, so
I have a question
Yep.
on this topic. Hypothetical. If you were to be immortal,
Yep.
and marry your significant other, and this is the question posed to the two of you, would you feel like you had to renew your vows every couple decades, or even say 6 decades, to stay married, or would you just be forever married to that person?
I feel like I'd want to do the first one for a while, but it would end up being the latter because I'd be like, yo, listen, weddings are expensive. I'm tired of this. Like, I've had my dream wedding 6 times. Like, I'm good. Like, we're married. It doesn't fucking matter.
like I mean I would get maybe the point of renewing like getting new documents.
Yeah, the documents.
At least, because at least then he could, like, if he got new documents, he could.
But also, if
divorce
you're
her.
immortal, giving yourself a paper trail like that might be fucking stupid.
True. But all of these, they give themselves paper trails because they all fucking go to school, don't they?
Why? What is the fucking appeal of going
And
to
honestly,
high school?
And I honestly feel like this is the most infuriating version of really, really, really old guy goes back to high school for a girl. Because at least in the other ones, right, they're not omniscient. They're not mind readers.
Yeah.
They can't touch a book and know all of its contents. So, like, in theory, Edward or Stefan, you know, they could still, hypothetically, learn something new at school. Hypothetically. Like,
Especially given when they were born.
Yeah. Whereas with Damon, right, every single person around him, he knows every thought they're having. If he wants to learn something new, he can just like go to a library and just run his hand along a bunch of books.
Be like, I know everything.
Now I know everything. Like, I feel like that this is probably the most infuriating kind of.
Yeah, also Soul of the Dragon makes a good point. College makes more sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could see why if you're like
the
super
minor that they're
old,
trying to bang isn't in college though.
well, I mean, that's a whole other issue, but I could see why, you know, when high school was first a thing, why an immortal would go to high school first.
Yeah.
But then
like, I've
after
never done
that,
this.
like once you know like the stuff, like just go to college. Like, what are you doing?
Maybe like
Because
every
in the
maybe
show,
like
Stefan
every
went to
50
college.
years or something.
Didn't in the show Stefan go to college?
No.
Just for like funsies?
No. Stefan did not.
Not in the show, but I mean like in the past.
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty sure he like mentions he's like, oh yeah, I went to college.
There
like,
are several
the 60s or
vampires that
something.
like there are several vampires we see that just keep going to college.
See, that'd be fun. I'd be okay with that. Except for the tuition prices.
I could see how college could have a lot more interesting, especially like if you like traveling as well. Because let's be honest, a college near you isn't going to necessarily have, like, obviously there's going to be some crossover, but not the same curriculum as, you know, different parts of the country or different countries in general. Like, you're going to get a whole lot of new stuff.
Also, different majors. Could
Yeah,
graduate with like a quadruple major.
I think we're just getting hung up on David going back to fucking high school.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
last book, what happened was, so Ever is living with Aunt Sabine, and you know she's in high school. She's not loving her life. So Ever is a psychic with, honestly, we don't know what her powers are, other than like her powers are
so stupid. They
the
don't
magic
have a power
system
set.
in this universe is really undefined. She can vaguely read other people's minds. Vaguely, she doesn't want to touch them because
it makes it stronger. And
Yeah.
she sees their whole life effectively if she touches them.
Yeah. And some other stuff. It's weird. And then
she can manifest things.
Well,
like
now,
cars.
now she can.
Yeah,
she
well,
didn't
she's
used
got
to be able to.
now. And now, like with how many inches she's grown in just this book alone, she's now 9'2".
Yes.
We'll get into. I'm talking about last book. Hold on.
Sorry.
So last book, all she could do was just vaguely psychic shit. Honestly, again,
Yes.
not clear.
Last book, she's mostly, I think, a teleport.
Oh, and see her sister's ghost.
Yes, she could see her sister's ghost.
Yes.
So then Damon shows up, and honestly, the back and forth doesn't matter. Either way, they got together, and then Darina, his ex-wife, or his wife, whatever, rocked up and was like, mine, and I'm going to kill you. So the dealio is that Ever has been reincarnating over and over again, and Drina has been stabbing or whatever, murdering Ever before before Damon and Ever can boinkity boink boink. So Ever in all of her incarnations always dies a virgin for whatever
She's
reason.
a forever virgin.
So for whatever reason, that is just, that's like the crux of the issue. And like, you know, I don't know why that's so relevant. But it is. So she tries to do that again, but this time, oh no, Ever murders Drina instead.
Kong.
And that's where the book ends. There's more stuff that happens, but it doesn't matter.
But there really isn't. That's really it. Like,
well, there's, yeah, whatever. Oh, and Riley
moved on
to be
Yeah,
with
she
her
crossed the
parents.
bridge.
Oh, and
And
sorry, and we find out at the end of the book that, when there was the car crash, Ever was dying, and Damon brought her back as an immortal. So
but
at
she
the end of
could've-
sorry,
but she could have chosen not to fully become an immortal.
yeah.
He gave her elixir, and I don't like now with the backstory we've got from this one. Would she still have lived like 100 years before she started aging, or would she have just been like?
We don't know, because
in order for us to know that, the author would have had to know that.
Yeah, I don't. I
Here's
feel like
what we're
Alyson doesn't know.
Hold on, we need to clarify. So here's what we're talking about. So Damon has been chugging this
Alchemy drink.
red drink, whatever. And he gives her some, and he's like, if you drink the drink, you're
immortal.
And we find out in Blue Moon that after you drink the first one, you don't age for 100 years. But Ever's just been like, you know how like some people just drink Diet Coke and it's like all they drink and they just have one all the time. Like, the kind of Diet Coke people. This is not like a read on Diet Coke people. I get it. Some people vape, some people are Diet Coke people, whatever. Anyway, she's a Diet Coke people, but with red drink. So, but it's insinuated that she doesn't have to be a Diet Coke people. So I don't get it.
I don't know why she ended up. Was she mortally injured or something? Is that why she drank the drink last book?
No, I think she just chose to be an immortal last book.
Yeah.
She just was like, okay.
Right.
But
this way we can
I think she had to drink it though you know what? Rules unclear.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, I can't remember why she ended up like deciding, okay, I am now relying on this as my only source of nutrition forever. Was she mortally wounded in her battle with Drina? And then he had to be like, you need to drink the drink or you're going to do a deady dead?
That probably is it.
Maybe. I don't know. But I think it made her fully an immortal, and then she was like, yeah, I don't know.
She's fully an immortal now. That's all that matters.
That's what matters. So this book starts off 3 weeks later. That's where we are.
Yes.
So.
And Ever is growing literally inches every day.
Yes.
Literally
honestly,
inches. I don't know what a starting point was.
Here's the thing. Yeah, so we get a lot of notes. So by the way, when you're really fully becoming an immortal, this was never really explained to us, but now it's being explained to us. But we never, because Damon and Ever don't speak to each other, and he doesn't tell her anything. Sorry. We don't actually know.
Talk a bit more this book.
Until
they don't.
Until he just is gone.
Until they don't.
Because anyway, we'll get to it. So we don't actually know like what's going to happen to her. But apparently, when you become an immortal, your hair just grows out really long. I don't know why this only applies to girls and not the boys, because
he could be going to the hairdressers every 2 days.
Somebody would notice that, someone would
It's-
notice.
Well,
Unless
that's
you know
it,
what,
though.
though?
Eva's with him
Because
all the
he's
time,
so-
except for when she's barely with him.
because he's so wonderfully talented. Maybe he's just cutting his own hair. I don't know.
Well,
Or
that's
I
600 years to practice, to be fair.
yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
that's
But
true.
I'm also just gonna go with that the author did not think of that because there's a lot of things she didn't freaking think of. But
Yep, that's
notes,
very
but
true.
writing advice from book club with Bay, if you're gonna have it be that that like X thing makes people's hair grow really freaking fast, men have short hair
Well-
because they cut it.
Yeah. It's not like it
because
just stops
doesn't
growing.
grow.
Well, actually, back to our favorite series, House of Night. Do you remember in
is
book
it book
one
club
where she's
about
like, literally everyone has really long hair because when you're a vampy vamp, everyone's hair just goes and grows really long and thick, unless you're Stevie Ray. And I don't know why. But then it's never, ever mentioned again.
Yeah.
Like they make a point that fingernails and hair just goes, like growth is off the charts. Like you're cut your
Dude.
nails 8 times a day.
Can that'd be awesome? You break a nail and it's done it's fixed by the end of the day. I want that.
But the other thing that's happening to Ever is like, yeah, her nails are growing really fast, and she's like, I have to clip them every 2 days, and stuff is like her teeth are straightening themselves out, which that'll save her aunt like tons of money on braces, I guess, and her skin's clearing up, which any teenager's dream. But also, yeah, we don't know how tall she is. At the
Yeah, I don't
beginning
know
of
what
any
she
of this.
started at. But throughout the course of this book, like when she's directly mentioned it, and there's days where she's not mentioning it. There's one day
Yeah.
where she goes 3 inches in a day. There's another day where she grows 2 inches in a day.
Which is 5 inches. So if you start out at 5'5", you are 6 feet tall already.
And this book goes for about, a week, if not longer.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And she was growing at the very beginning of the book, and she was growing at the end of the book. So we can assume that she was growing all the way in between. So by now she's like 9'8".
Yeah, at a rate of what
bitch
we
is
don't
tall.
know. I'm assuming, like, I'm gonna assume, because she's still a YA protagonist, she's only meant to wind up being like 5'9".
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense.
So
I
the Immortal
know.
Juice is like, we're gonna get you to grow just every like 5 days.
I don't know, like, but knowing YA authors, they don't
I just
include.
don't think she thought of it.
They don't include like. They include very short people. They include average height people.
They have very tall guys.
Yeah,
But-
then the love interest is 8'7".
Yeah, but like
Um.
tall women are not a thing. So
No.
I'm just gonna assume that she thinks that super tall is like 5'9".
Maybe she was like 4'4".
Maybe,
She was
yeah.
Maybe,
just
but
short.
maybe. I mean, I feel like though, like her nickname last book would have been Walking Blowjob if she was 4'4" though.
You're right.
Um,
So, I don't know. Ever is now a giant. That is the point of this conversation.
Yes.
She's now a giant.
But we also
Um,
don't but one of the things that we don't talk about with like that doesn't get mentioned about Damon specifically
Is how tall he is.
is how tall he is, which is interesting.
Well-
But it's one of the things that we don't really hang on all that much.
He must be 10'4".
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean, which you would think that she would mention that he's like obscenely tall. But also with all this growing, Ever's, here's the thing: if your character is like getting taller and taller and taller, who is she getting taller in relation to?
Yeah, like I mean,
Is she now just tower? Can she just see like the top shelf of grocery stores, or is she just like an inch taller than, I don't know, Haven now? Like we don't know.
yeah, like we know that Sabine is like 5'4", or in heels,
oh wow.
because she says it must be that juice you're always guzzling. Maybe I should try it. I wouldn't mind breaking the 5'4" barrier without the aid of high heels.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing she's taller than 5'4" now. We know that. I don't know.
Anywho, so those are all the things that are happening to Ever. The other thing is that
sorry, just come back. I just need to reiterate just how fast she's growing. In the morning, her jeans are literally dragging on the floor.
Yes.
By the afternoon, several inches of her ankle are exposed.
Yes.
That's how fast she's growing. And she's not a giant, apparently. Carry on.
So we open the book with Damon trying to teach her how to manifest things.
Mm-hmm. So she manifests another Damon. And it's fine.
I feel like Stixie would leave me if he's trying to get me to like practice something like important or serious, and I'm just gonna make another you, and if you don't make out with me, I'll just make out with the other you. He'd be like, well, I guess the other me is all you have now. Goodbye.
Yeah. That's what Christian would do too.
The other thing that we should just go ahead and mention is that throughout this whole thing, he's like, now that Doreena's gone and all that, he's like, I want to boink. And she's like, man, I don't know. She's like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. And he's like,
yes.
He's very frustrated with this.
Well, yeah, and he's got 6th century blue balls.
Yeah, but despite that fact, I'm on Ever's side here because she is in fact a 16-year-old girl with none of those memories, and that's not her fault. And here's the thing, you 600-year-old creep, you like pressuring a 16-year-old girl into doing the boink with you is
when she hasn't been laid in. Actually, sorry, they met 400 years ago. Don't know about her previous lives, but at least every incarnation of her for 400 years died a virgin.
And that's something she knows too. So like that's something also hanging on her. So like
I feel like also like I think the pressure of your first time can be like overwhelming enough, but then knowing that the other guy's been waiting to boink you for 400 years.
That's even if you think about it, that's so much pressure to put on a 16-year-old girl. 16-year-old girls are some of the most, that's like one of the most vulnerable age demographics. Okay. So I feel really bad for her, but something that makes me feel even worse is that the author gives her no grace. The author is not on her side.
No.
The author, it's clear in the text, the author thinks that she's in the wrong for this. Which just rubs me the wrong way because like Damon's clearly in the wrong. We don't pressure 16-year-old girls into boinking.
Yeah. Like I will say, it doesn't sound like he's like hardcore, like at least at the beginning of the book, right? The very first time this topic comes up, it doesn't sound like he's just like, let's boink. And she's like, no. She's like, she initiates getting really, really hot and heavy, and then she's like, nah. And he's like, the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, though.
My balls hurt.
Here's the thing, though. It is completely normal for a 16-year-old to want to go to a certain place, like to want to, go to a certain point and then not go further. That's not weird at all.
Well, it's her reasoning is that she's like, yes, I think I'm ready. So then she starts to initiate, and then she's like, no, not ready. And then she starts,
which is normal.
I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying I can understand how he could get frustrated if that's a repeated occurrence.
But to be fair to her, an option that has not been presented to her by the only person that she considers an authority in this situation is not going all the way, but doing something else.
Yeah, just a little BJ. It's fine,
But that's not. But that's not even.
You don't have to go from A to Z.
But that's not. But my point is, that's not even an option that's been presented to her.
No, it hasn't.
Yeah, it's just we must boink.
So
and he does like the scene that first scene, right? He kind of does have a little tanny and leave. He's just like, I'm going. Let me know when you want to fuck.
Yeah, and then the fucking thousands of tulips erupt. from
Yeah.
somewhere, and then
But
he
the thing,
leaves.
but that's like the weird thing to me too, is like building up to it is not even an option presented to her. And I can understand why, you know, if the author thought of it, why as a 16-year-old girl thinking of that herself wouldn't, you know, be a thing.
No, because typically you rely, if you're in a one person's experience, one person's not, you rely on the more experienced person because that makes sense. They know what they're doing. They've done the thing before, so they can, you know, be like, well, you know, we don't have to do it. You know, how about I do something for you to like give you, you know, make you more comfortable?
Yeah. We can stop anytime you say.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying that he is right in how he's handling it. All I'm saying is I can at least understand that
I can sort of
He's
understand
frustrated.
it, but I have absolutely no sympathy for it because if he's that experienced, he should know that there's a way around, that he should know how to navigate the situation. The other thing too,
and he
though,
also knows that he has a hand.
is that he is
Yeah.
he's being completely manipulative because while he's not explicitly like not explicitly being a douchebag, quote unquote, because he's not like yelling at her about it,
he's storming out of the room.
He's being super manipulative, and it would be way more obvious to Ever if he was just saying, let's boink her, I hate you. Because at least then she could be like, wait a minute. But because he's just being a manipulative douche, her 16-year-old girl brain can't even process that he's being a manipulative douche. So it would almost be better if he was like, boink me or I don't like you anymore, and I hate people.
Boink or I leave.
Because then she could be like, well, that feels like a red flag. But because he's just like subtly, you know, subtle to a 16-year-old girl, emotionally abusing the fuck out of her, she's not like, that seems wrong.
She's like, I just need time. He's like, well, that's one thing we'll never run out of, his sighs. And just when I think he's about to kiss me again, he squeezes my hand and moves away. Like, he just leaves.
He's like, you know what?
He's like, yeah, we have all the time in the world. Bye.
He's like, I gotta go do something really quick. See you later.
Gotta go have a cold shower.
Yeah.
No, like he could handle it better.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He could handle it better. But then Sabine comes home.
Oh, and that's his excuse for leaving, is he always leaves right before Sabine comes home. Yeah.
Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And
so then
they have a really awkward encounter about the fact that Eva doesn't eat anything. It's just like, but everything's fine.
Yeah.
Because look, I'm growing and gaining weight. And she's like,
yeah,
I guess.
I'm chill, bro. And that's that. And then I remembered that she was an alcoholic for 2 seconds at the end of the last book. It's fine, whatever. And
oh, that's right. She was too, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
That's
how significant these plot points are.
Yeah, Sabine also tricks Ever into being like agreeing to have dinner with Damon.
Yes,
like the three of them on Saturday night, and then it's time for school.
Yes, then we are at school. Yeah, Miles has a zit, and it's a problem. Then she realizes that Mr. Muniz, her history teacher, has a crush on her aunt because they ran into each other once, and that's a whole thing.
They literally ran into each other,
and she's like, no. She's like, no, and she like uses her psychic powers to like be like, she doesn't go there often. Like, don't mess with her.
Did you guys mention that Sabine wants to meet Damon?
Yes, we're.
Oh yeah. I mean, the other, I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but I want to mention it. The other thing that's happening in these last 3 weeks is that Ever's been really bad at blending in.
Yes. Oh my god.
Yeah, we briefly touched on that.
Like, just her behavior's been really off. I mean, the other thing is like they're not even like faking the red drink being like legitimate. Like they're not putting it in like a red Gatorade bottle or something.
Well,
it's just this.
spoiler further, like later. It sounds like Roman's drinking his drink out of Coke cans.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to blend.
And you
Whereas,
gotta, if you're gonna be a long-term immortal, you gotta learn how to blend in.
And she's just like avoiding Sabine like the plague. So she's like, so Sabine will be like, do you want to like, have dinner with me or something? And she'll just be like, I gotta go jump off a cliff. And Sabine's like, why the fuck are you avoiding me? And, so Sabine's like reading these books about like teen drug addiction and stuff like that. And
because
like,
she did have an addiction last book. So
and Ever's like, why do you think that I have teen problems? And Sabine's like,
everything.
Obviously. And so Ever just has like this unmarked bottle of goo, and Sabine's really freaked out.
Like they don't even drink it out of like opaque drink bottles. Like, cause like you don't even have to pour it into a can and pretend like it's Coke. All you need to do is get like, Ever just needs a bright pink drink bottle.
Yeah, like, you just get a freaking travel mug and you put it in the travel mug and you say it's coffee.
Honestly, it sounds like they're literally like, they don't even like whack a cranberry juice sticker on the side of their clear drink bottles, or
there's
like
so many other
out
things
of crystal chalices. Like, do they just carry around crystal chalices and make a big to-do about pouring the red drink?
That's what it sounds like. That's how it comes off. Like, it's
like,
very
how does
strange.
everyone know that the two of them almost exclusively consume? Like, the Cullens, because, like, it's in this, right? Immortals can still eat.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it goes through the same process. It's just pointless, right?
Yeah.
In Twilight, it's not in the books, but she has confirmed in, like, a frequently asked questions on her website. So this is canon. When a vampire consumes food, they literally have to then make themselves throw it back up. Because it's just sitting there going,
their systems don't work.
Yeah, they're frozen, like they're rock. So it's unpleasant. The Cullens still eat food when they need to in a social setting. These guys are just like
blend in.
Yeah. I mean, like, they still don't really eat much. But like they at least go through the motions of like playing with food, making it look like they're eating to an extent. These two are just like red drinking all the clear stuff, please.
Yeah, like so like in the Vampire Diaries, which honestly is the way that it makes the most sense for vampires to blend in. Like, they're straight up just like, yeah, munching on chips curbs the cravings, nom nom nom. They just straight up still like food.
Which would make the most sense to me. Like, yes, they live, their sustenance is blood, but like, doesn't mean you can't enjoy the fine things in life as well. Like a nice pizza, like.
Yeah.
And it makes them far less conspicuous.
Yes.
Yeah, but then how could we drag this book out for 51 chapters? If we didn't have an entire chapter about Eva, why do you only ever consume the red drink 3 times in the book?
It because Ever makes it explicitly clear, like, I could totally, go out to dinner with Sabine and nothing bad would happen.
I just can't be bothered.
But she's just like, but I don't fucking feel like it. And it's like, Ever, shut the fuck up.
This isn't about you, Ever. It's about your aunt. She's freaking the fuck out.
Yeah. So anyway, she hears, in her history teacher's thoughts that like, he
ran into this really pretty woman.
And then she's like, oh my god, it's Sabine. Oh my god. And so she's like,
I can't deal with my history teacher dating my aunt.
Let this happen. And then she's like, I know that it's a guy that lives in her building. And now that I'm thinking about it,
works
in her building. And so she's like, so he's not the one. So I need to put a stop to this. And it's like, And she's like, Damon would be so mad about this, but she's like, but I have to do something because she can't date my history teacher. Oh my God. And so she like scurries up to him and she's like,
no.
And I forget what she says, but she
says
just
that the woman that
she
you ran
doesn't even
into
go
doesn't
there.
go here very often. Yeah. So like,
yeah, she's like, she doesn't even go to Starbucks very often. She fucking hates coffee. She didn't say that, but she's like, don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And how do you know this?
Yeah.
And then she just storms away.
And then it's lunchtime. And
and
Roman
then Roman
is in
shows
her
up.
seat.
Yeah,
like,
Roman's here.
Hello, governor. I am Roman, and I shall be your. I can't even do the shitty British accent that she gave him. Like, it's atrocious.
Roman talks about how history is terrible, and I took personal offense to that. Anyway, so. And Ever immediately has a really bad feeling about Roman.
Yeah.
Which fair.
She wants to run away when she sees him for the first time.
And one thing I don't get yet is like Damon isn't fucked yet, right? He's still Damon.
Yeah.
Did
he not realize that it's a guy he went to an orphanage with 600 years ago? Like
that he turned into an immortal and was in love with that he was a father figure to, that was in love with his wife for 600 years.
Well, they don't talk about it this book at all, but given the thing, given that anytime anything happens to either one of them, they both go, well, I can't possibly tell Damon, or well, I can't possibly tell Ever about this. I'm not surprised. Disappointed.
Yeah, you would think that Damon would just be like, yo, heads up, I'm immortal. Also, since when? Sorry, I'm thinking of this now, and I'm bringing it up now. Since fucking when was like Drina's Ouroboros tattoo like a symbol of you cannot be a rogue immortal unless you have an Ouroboros?
Right?
But also, like, I didn't even know she was a rogue immortal. I thought she was just a bad guy.
I thought she was just an immortal, yeah. I didn't think that there was a special type of immortal that's rogue. What constitutes a rogue immortal?
Like a rogue immortal. Does that just mean bad guy? Like, what is a rogue immortal?
Bad guy who is immortal.
But bad guy how? Like, dislikes.
Yeah, like what?
I don't know. Okay?
Because like in Vampire
the rules
Academy,
changed.
In Vampire Academy, for example, this Strigoi, are actually different.
Yeah, like they're more like the stereotypical like evil bloodsucky things.
And there's a thing that happens to them, and they're actually different.
And they're technically dead.
And but they're literally different.
Yeah.
Yeah, make them different.
But they just have a tattoo. So is it like if you just get a gang tattoo?
Yeah, maybe it is like a gang. Like you just join a gang.
I know,
but it's a gang of two people.
It's the gang of rogues. Okay.
I just don't understand.
Like I don't know why she was just like, oh, he doesn't have an Ouroboros tattoo, therefore I must be crazy and he's not evil.
Is that the only way people can be evil? I don't understand the rules of this universe.
Yes.
Can you just write anything and get published? Like,
yes.
I almost want to do it just as a social experiment.
Just write something really shitty and see what happens.
You know what you do? You know how like there's all those challenges that like, where you get like the first 3 words of a sentence and then you just have to do the like text predict on your phone. Text predict a book.
Yeah.
See what happens. See what you get. And then like submit it. It could be compelling and rich. It could be a disaster. Who knows? You might become a New York Times bestseller day.
Honestly, like I just want to write a YA novel first draft and just submit it.
Let's see what happens. Yeah.
No edits. Just try it out. Not under Teresa J. Martin. I'm not going to do that. But like
don't ruin your name.
why? Because
you need a
honestly,
pseudonym.
if this and House of Night, like, why try? Like, what the fuck? Anyway,
Who
what's
was
the
this
point?
published by?
Pretty sure HarperCollins are usually the culprits of this.
That's not. It's not at the beginning of the audiobook of the ebook. Let's go to the end. No, it's not in the ebook, so we're gonna have to go online. Where are we up to in the story? Oh, Roman's at lunch.
We're in
That's
chapter
where we're up
5.
to.
We're at chapter 5. She thinks
Oh, for
that
fuck's
Roman
sake.
is. I know. She thinks that Roman is poisoning Miles, and then
God, because he
she
gave him
literally
zit cream.
the zit cream, and then she goes to art class, and he's sitting in her seat, and she is like, I'm jealous and I'm possessive and I'm paranoid. But I love Damon. And this is when Damon starts to act weird. And then he tells her about like when they first met hundreds of years ago, and he's like, yeah, you were a servant in a rich household. And she's very offended about this.
You know how I made a joke about like New York Times bestseller?
Yeah.
The first two books in this series are New York Times bestsellers. I swear, you don't even have to try.
No.
So this was published by Macmillan, which is one of the big 5.
Yeah.
It was an immediate bestseller. And it spent 34 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list for children's books.
For children's books?
Children's books.
Amazon says the grade level is 7 through 12.
Oh, the wiki says that the publisher is St. Martin's Press.
St. Martin's Press is part of Macmillan Publishing Group, so it's one of the big 5.
Okay.
The big 5 have a bunch of
smaller
subsidiaries.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
then she's offended, and Damon's a creep, and this is a conversation.
Have you talked about like where are we at?
We're in chapter 7. Chapter 7.
I don't know what happened in chapter 7. What just happened? I'm sorry.
She wanted to know how they first met, and she was a servant, and she's offended about the fact that she was a servant.
Yeah.
And also I think this is something that comes up every single time. It's this sort of like immortal meets teenage girl and is obsessed. But I don't understand the appeal of a 16-year-old to a 600-year-old. I don't understand why it's a trope. It doesn't make fucking sense. Because if you're 600, this person is a literal child.
Yeah, and again, like at least in Twilight, Edward was still...
He was still emotionally that age.
17.
Yeah.
Like that was like the fact that you're stuck at the emotional maturity level of which you were turned is a major plot point in the 4th book.
And that makes so much more sense. I like that so much more than just like,
hello, I am hundreds of years old, and you, 16-year-old girl, shall be my one true love.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I can understand being physically attracted to someone who is physically the same kind of age as you, right?
Yes.
And like that happens as you get older as well. Like, you know, like when you're a 12-year-old, you don't typically look at like a 40-year-old man and go, wow, he's really hot.
Yeah.
And
but as you
much
get
in the
older,
same way, yeah. Like, I mean, I will, and your opinion on what you deem attractive in general changes as you get older.
Yeah, like
so I can understand him looking at Ever and go, damn, I want to hit that.
Because also I don't know how. Yeah, I also don't know how that attraction gradient would work if you got older but never aged.
Yeah, it's weird, but see, because
that's never happened to anybody before.
Yeah, that said, though, like, can the argument be made though that Damon is also emotionally stunted at 17?
Well, you know what though?
Oh,
because
fuck
he behaves that way.
Well, but that I don't know if that's because the author is crap or because that's intentional.
Also true. Also true.
I don't know if he's creepy or it's fine.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Honestly, though, his mastermind manipulation of a 16-year-old implies that he's not. This is the
Stunted.
thing, is that we're in Ever's head, and he is manipulating a 16-year-old the way that a creepy 25-year-old might manipulate a 16-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, it's all just a mess. I
So
don't know if he's stunted or not.
So anyway, Sabine wants to meet Damon, so they plan to do that, but also Miles has a play on Friday. So he's like, do you want to...
Yes, the play that Trina got in the role in. Like, I still don't know how that was part of a master evil plan.
So he's like, so Friday night, do you want to... I'm going to get us a hotel room.
Do you want to fuck? And she eventually says yes.
And she eventually says yes. She feels very pressured into this. She's like convinced that it's her idea. I'm not convinced of that, but the text agrees with Damon, so whatever. So she agrees to that. And then, they go to the play and Damon's like,
and Roman's
I'm going to
there.
go get Roman's there. And Damon's like, I'm going to go get the car. So Ever's waiting in the parking lot. Roman's there. And she's just like waiting and waiting. And Roman's like, huh.
Damon left.
He's like, why are you staying out here all alone, girl? And she's like, waiting for my boyfriend. And he's like, oh, the one.
Well, your boyfriend left, so.
And she's like, huh? And then she's really
upset. He wouldn't leave me.
And so she manifests a car and tries to find him.
Yeah. And she drives to the hotel and she has sisterhood solidarity with...
Well, she goes up to the front desk and she's like, hey, is it Damon August checked in? And she's like, I can't tell you that.
She's like, but you were recently dumped and my boyfriend didn't show up. And she's like, okay, well, now we're buddies.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I'm sorry, he didn't check in. And she's like, oh my God.
Something's wrong because he's been acting really weird. He's been acting sick and Immortals don't get sick.
Yeah. So then she goes to the beach and then to his house.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I think we said this last time we covered this book. At this point, I mean, they haven't been together very long, but it's written like they've been together forever. At this point, if you have a friend or a boyfriend that's been acting super sick, they're like the love of your life, and they suddenly yeet or whatever, and you have no idea what's going on. I get doing a small little break-in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
The first break-in, justified. Only because you're still like, I'm his girlfriend, I don't get what's going on. And also whatever's going on, nobody else can help but me because nobody else knows.
And especially considering like they're still very much, I mean, I feel like they could live for like it's gonna be one of those relationships that if they lived for like 800 years, they'd still be in the honeymoon phase and like their love is never actually going to mature into anything other than like must make out 24/7. But like in general, first few weeks, first few months even, like it's hardcore, like, honeymoon period.
Oh yeah.
And he's been waiting to bang her for 400 years, and she's like, okay, let's go to the hotel and bang. And then he's just gone. So I understand why she's like, what the fuck's going on?
Yes. It's completely fair for her to be very confused.
Yeah, like I said, first break-in, I get it because, here's the thing. If one of, even if like it was a friend, like if one of you like just disappeared.
Yeah, like I'm going to go get the car, I'll meet you out front. And then I was like, go on your own.
And then just left. Yeah.
I'd break in.
That's fair.
I would totally break in. I would break into your house. No
You know the
hesitation.
code to you know the code to get into my house, right?
Yeah,
Okay, there you go.
I'd break the fuck in.
Yeah. Be like, okay, the cats are still here. So so something's wrong.
Right, like I don't care. I'd break in. I'd break in a heartbeat.
Yeah. That's totally fair of her to do it right now. It just gets she becomes a serial B&Er, man. It's just
Yeah, like I said, first break in, I get it, dude. I get it, man. I'd break in too. Like, state of mind is understandable,
yes.
and
100%.
I don't think it's something that anybody else like wouldn't do, especially if you are you can't
Strictly
call the
speaking,
cops.
she didn't have to break in. Strictly speaking.
Yeah, she didn't really have to. She has a key to his house, and yeah.
But yeah, she went over there when she wasn't supposed to be there. But she ended up going to the police as well.
We don't see it though. It's just mentioned off
Yeah.
screen. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not anywhere.
But she's like calling hospitals. She goes to the cops. But like, it makes sense because he's just missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has no family. And so the only person he's ever in contact with is Ever.
Her.
And at this point, you're just kind of like, wow, this is unhealthy.
Yes, but
their
you know,
codependency is
alarming.
concerning, you know.
Again, though, it's very much naughty's YA.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what I mean, I don't have we read a recent YA book?
The new Jenny series.
Is that YA though?
I don't know. It's
That's
written
new
like
adult,
it.
I think.
Yeah, there's boning.
But like
There's vigorous graphic boning.
But in book 2, as the characters decay, they start reading like YA characters.
True.
I still really like that series, so I'm gonna.
I think the first book in that series will forever be a really, really good book, and not just for Jenny.
No, I don't
really
disagree
good
with
book.
that at all.
But
Addie, haven't
I
you
don't
been
know if it's
reading
YA.
like a recent YA book, The Court of?
It's not YA.
Oh,
ACOTAR is
it's
not
in the
YA.
YA section.
Is it really? It
Yeah.
should not be. It's new adult.
Okay.
High
Well, there's
fantasy.
not a new adult section of bookstores, so all those get.
Okay, so yeah, then yes, I guess technically, but it doesn't read like young adult at all. It reads like a high fantasy with sex.
Oh, okay.
yeah, they really shouldn't be putting explicit sex in YA sections ever.
Well, there's not another section.
Then you put it in adult.
But
Yeah.
If there is anything other than Fade to Black, you put it in adult.
If the word penis or cock is said, yeah, you need to. That needs to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, so she does a B&E and she's very worried, and she's so Monday morning, she picks up Miles and she's
because he just doesn't show up to dinner either.
Yeah, he doesn't show up to dinner either, and so she hasn't spoken to him all weekend. And
she's
so
still freaking out.
She picks up Miles on Monday morning, and she's like, "This is what's going on. I'm really concerned. I'm really upset." And she finally kind of tells Miles what's going on. She's like, "Yeah, I just haven't heard from Damon since Friday," and he's like, "Oh my god, wow, that's so crazy." And she's like, "Yeah," and then they pull into the parking lot, and there's Damon.
Yep.
And at this point, because Miles is still her friend, he's like, wow.
He's like, we hate him. He's done.
I'm really sorry. That sucks.
Yeah. And this is when he starts being weird, right? Like Ever's like,
he completely blows her off.
Excuse you.
Yeah, he's just
like, you fucking stalker.
He's like, I've never met you. What the fuck? Also, though, it's not clear if Damon, it's implied that Damon doesn't remember her.
Yes.
But it's not clear.
Well, because then there's other times where it's like, look, it was fun for a bit, but you're just a bit too cray-cray.
Yeah. So we don't actually know if Damon remembers.
I think it's meant to be dismissive instead of not knowing who she is.
But that's the thing; it's not clear. Because
No,
And how does
especially
that work?
initially. I don't know. Okay, Roman did a magic spell. Okay,
But what
So we
did
have
he do?
spells
spell?
now?
Oh, I don't know what he did, but he did a mass hypnosis.
Yes.
He did a hypnosis, and when did he get the school together and go and hypnotize
The lunch
everyone?
table.
But when did he? Was
He did
just
it during
walking around
lunch.
talking to everyone? Was he just walking around talking to everyone, saying, like, like get them into their trancey trance, and then just be like, okay,
We
so
hate Ever.
at lunch we're gonna do a thing and exclude Eva, and won't that be great? Also, sorry, just on that note, how she snaps them out of their hypnosis should not work.
No.
Because
We'll
the
get to
ending
it.
of the
should be a
hypnosis
specific
has
word.
to be triggered.
Yep.
We'll get to it. But
Yeah,
Yep.
sorry.
yeah, so Damon is just. We don't
Like,
know if he
I don't
doesn't
like you,
remember
bye.
her, if he's just been tranced into not liking her. We have no idea.
Yep.
Yeah. We can kind of work it out as we stumble along through the crummy present tense.
Honestly, I don't know though, because
Has she gone to Ava? Has she met Ava?
no,
yet?
that's way
No,
later.
no, we're far away from Ava.
And
Oh, for fuck's
I have some gripes about Ava, but we'll get to that. But yeah, like that's super, super later. But honestly, like here's the thing: it would have made way more sense if she'd at least had her and Damon just talk. Like if she'd at least had Damon give her like a speech, like I don't know you, or like we hooked up once, or something like. Something to indicate what Damon actually knows.
Because
we
that wouldn't
don't
have
know.
diminished the point of the scene.
What?
That wouldn't have diminished the point of the scene.
Right. It would have
she had
just
done
said,
that.
here's what he knows, and this is what we're dealing with.
But no.
But we don't know.
We're left to stumble through it.
Yep.
And Ever never even has the thought, I wonder what Damon knows.
No.
Or does Damon not remember me? Like, that's not a thing she thinks about.
But the only thing she
don't
does
know.
think about is she can actually read Damon's thoughts now, so
And
it's
he
like
has
a
an
power
aura.
sap. He has an aura now.
And
And
she's
she's immediately like, this is not Damon, like something's wrong with him. He's not in his right mind. Something's going on.
Yeah, and then he's like flirting and like borderline like bangs Stacia or Stasia or whatever the fucking name is in the
Yep.
middle of class.
Yep, we're back to that.
Oh,
It's very uncomfortable.
isn't that fun? Let's go back to book one bullshit.
Instead of book 2 bullshit, it's book 1 bullshit. In book 2.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say, like, as far as the rest of this book, Ever basically hangs out by herself. Like,
Yes.
She's not with Damon.
She's not with her
lives
other
Miles
friends.
and Havenstein.
Not with anybody. She's just alone.
Yeah.
Which honestly, bold choice.
Yeah.
She kind of has Ava when she's not
Yeah.
manifesting Gucci bags.
So, Miles has abandoned her now. Roman asks her on a date. She says no. We've grown 3 inches. And Damon is telling teachers that she's stalking him and going to his house and all of this fun stuff. Which that's not something you want your teachers to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roman wants her. She skips school and goes to Ava's house. So there we go. We're at
Okay.
Ava. Ava wants to go to Summerland, so they go to Summerland. There's a whole chapter of them just prepping to go to Summerland, and then they finally go to Summerland.
Is that where this is?
Yes, chapter 24.
Oh, okay.
And as soon as they get there, Ava's like, wow, I can make myself pretty jewelry. Yay. And then Ava's like, I want to go to the temple records because they're going somewhere to see if they can find what's wrong with him. Because apparently, like, there's like a temple with records and shit.
Yeah.
And she's like, I need to find out what I need to know, and then bam, creepy twins from The Shining appear.
That's exactly what I wrote down. I was like, the Shining twins are here.
Yeah,
Like
just about.
Yeah, like it's two girls with like dead straight dark hair in private schoolgirl uniforms, and they're like, hello, and they're like, she's like, what the fuck are you? And she's like, we're here to take you to the temple, and they're like, okay, so they take her to the temple.
And then
And
they
she
show
walks
her Damon's life.
Yeah, she walks in the temple and she's like, I need to know everything about Damon. And then she gets like, when like we get backstory, Daddy was an alchemist working on doing a thing. And then the bad guys come and they're like, we want your stuff. And he's hiding in the cupboard and Mummy and Daddy die. And he's like, no. And then orphanage. And then Drina gets sick or something. And he's like, I must make my potion. So he makes the potion and immortals her. And then a bunch of other orphans. And then she's like, I don't want to watch this. Skip to the end. So then she skips to the end and he's dead.
Yeah, it's him
And
dying.
Roman's just like, heh, over the course.
Yeah, so Roman's gonna
She's
kill
like,
him.
no, go back. And basically the reason why she said skip to the end is because she got jealous of Drina, who, by the way, is dead.
Yeah, she got jealous of them making out. Even though
600
she
years
literally
ago.
Yeah, she literally killed her, but she's still jealous of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So I feel like her sacred center is also her chakra. Like if her and Roman just like mutually like stomach punched each other or whatever, like wherever the hell that chakra is, I don't know. Wherever, I think it's navel. If they just mutually punched each other's belly button, they would
Dead.
both die.
We already
Yeah.
talked about the chakra thing. I can't. I cannot.
I just really hope that we don't come into contact with anyone that has a root chakra because that's the groin one.
I'm sure it'll happen.
I don't think it does. I don't think we get a root chakra.
Aww. This is a children's book, apparently. All right.
Somehow.
So now we're back in real
Riley's
life.
a children's book.
We're back in real life, and she's just staring at Damon, like macking on Stacia's neck. It's a whole weird thing. And Roman's like, I won. Mwahaha. And he shows her the rogue immortal tattoo that's apparently a thing.
It's on his neck.
Yeah, she was looking on his wrist because that's where Drina put Haven's one when she gave Haven. We still don't even know the purpose of giving Haven a disease tattoo. Like,
I don't know. I don't know anything about this book series.
look, did we even see that Drina had one?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah,
that's
because
what
it
I'm
was a
saying,
matching
like-
tattoo.
Yes.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was a matching tattoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his neck and he's just like, more ha ha. Like, there
and
it
she's
is.
like, no, what are you doing to my Damon?
And-
So she breaks into his house, or she tries and fails.
Yeah, she manifests a door and just leaves it there.
Yeah. So then we go back to Summerland, and time travel is being alluded to, saying like you have to go back.
Yeah, can we just like that scene right where she's trying to because she's trying to envision the door opening, right? So she pictures the door and then opens her eyes and there's another door. Why would you just not envision the key?
Does she still have the key at this point?
At this point, she still has the key.
Then why the fuck does she just use the key?
Because she left it at home, I think.
Then manifest the key. It's so stupid.
Or break a window and then manifest an unbroken window. Like if you can't remember the exact
So many
bridges of the
options.
key. Like I don't. But then we wouldn't have a good chunk of the rest of the book, I guess.
Oh no, what a sad thing that would have been.
That would have been a tragedy.
Yeah. So for some reason she gets the idea that she needs to go back before the accident. And so that's gonna be a thing. So she's like, all right, I
Well,
guess she's like,
it's because when she's in Summerland and she goes
Like,
back
I
to
want
the
everything
records.
to be back.
Well, it's because when
Sorry,
she
go.
goes to Summerland, she goes back to the records place and she's like, show me what I need to know to fix this stuff. And it
How to
shows
make
her
everything the way it was.
Yeah, and it shows her how to time travel. She's like, oh, okay. So I need to put everything back to the way it was, even though it means leaving Damon, which honestly, I was like, damn, girl. You codependent YA protagonist just cool with leaving it all behind. Like, damn.
except it's not gonna actually amount
No,
to
but
anything.
you know what? I was
No.
like, sweetie, wow. And also, like, we'll talk about it, but she does go through with it. And I was like, girl, talk about some character growth. Like, because you are a codependent little fuck. And I was impressed. I was like, good for you, leaving your codependent relationship behind. Of course, the universe doesn't let you have this, but I have to say, I'm super proud of you. Like damn. Because here's the thing. When you're that deep in a codependent relationship, it takes a lot of strength to be like, I'm just going to take a step back and I'm going to go work on me,
And literally undo us.
But she does it for him, though.
Yeah, codependent relationships aren't that big on the self-sacrifice. So it's like if we die together.
So honestly, I was like, she was like, I'm gonna do it like to save him, but also like, I'm gonna give me and my family like a chance to whatever. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, because she's like, Damon and I will find each other again. It's fine.
Chance at life.
She was like, I'm gonna give my family and me like a chance at life, and I was like, girl, look at you go.
It doesn't last.
No, it doesn't. But I was proud of her.
Yeah.
So she's like, if I'm going to do this just on the off chance that everything still goes to shit, or if it's just me, like I just poof disappear, I need contingency plans in place. I still don't actually understand her logic in this because, like, even if she poof disappears and her parents aren't dead, then she was never there. So even if she doesn't actually go back in time, she just goes to an alternate timeline at the same time.
Yeah.
She was never there, so none of her contingencies are relevant. All it does is set up the thing to be like at the end, like, oh, your plan didn't work because someone did it bad at the end.
I kind of get why she does it though, because I think her logic is like, if everything still happened, but I just leave.
But she's not there to set up the contingency, so it's pointless.
I mean, like, if she is, like, if it doesn't, like, if it still so happens, like, the timeline still exists where she's there, but then she just leaves.
Time travel's complicated, y'all.
I don't know.
Really complicated.
I mean, like, at least she addresses the thought of, like, look, in theory, I'll go back and, like, none of this will have happened, so this is all pointless. At least she has the thought.
Like, she has the thought, but she's like, but just in case, like, that's not what happens, I'm going to set up some contingency plans. And she's like, maybe it'll be pointless, but at least all bases covered.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's one of the smartest things you've done. Okay. I was like, I'm on board with that. That works.
Yep.
Also, just because this is relevant later, one of the creepy twins is like helpful. The other one is like,
yeah, the other one's mean.
Oh, I want to talk about Ava for a second because we've been romping around with Ava. So in the last book, Ava was genuinely smart and helpful.
Yeah.
In this book,
she's shallow.
She's
just addicted to Summerland.
In the last 3 weeks, she's had a lobotomy.
From memory, unless I'm completely misremembering what happens in the next book, from memory, she redeems herself.
Yes. But in this book, yeah, I don't know what happened. Like they reversed the lobotomy, but in this book, she's just completely lobotomized. I don't know what the heck
Yeah,
is
because
going
I'm
on
gonna
with
text.
Ava.
I'm gonna text just you specifically, Bae, because
Because I remember Ava from later books, and she's not like this, if I'm recalling correctly.
yeah. So I'm remembering that correctly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in next book. So she I guess she redeems herself somehow. Like I get it could even just be a Roman hypnotized me too. Lol. Like I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like right now she's just addicted to Summerland. She just goes there and she's like, I just want to be here all the time. I'm making up fake Parises and I'm like Gucci bags and gold rings and whatever. And Ever's like, how dare you? And
Look, if I went to Summerland, like one, I'd be like I declare a rename, and then two, I would manifest all of the pretty things that I want.
but also
To.
like
I would do it. Like I see it, but it's not in her character as previously established. It's not in her character as established at the beginning of this book. It's just like as soon as she goes to Summerland, she's like, rings.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
Summerland changed her.
Summerland is not a happy place.
but point being, we're working with Ava and Ava's kind of not being helpful. But yeah, so she sees the time travel stuff, and now she's thinking about whether or not she should time travel. And
She decides pretty quickly that she's going to do it, though.
quickly, yes. Also, throughout all this time, she's getting bullied to shit at school. People are like wandering, they're just like calling her spaz and all kinds of awful shit. And the whole time I was thinking, like, just change schools. I would change schools. I would
but then she can't keep an eye on Damon and be like, and she'd have to leave him.
Dude, fuck Damon. Change schools.
Yeah, I know, but like, this is a YA protagonist. She can't just change schools.
You and Damon could have changed schools like at any point.
But now Ava helps her break into the house.
Yes.
Also, how old is Ava supposed to be?
I don't.
Because she passes for a 16-year-old.
An adult. Ava's supposed to be an adult.
It's just a name. It's just a name, like on the list.
Yeah, but
I don't think like name is like age is on there. But whilst you guys carry on with the I say plot, with the book, give me a minute and I will see if it's mentioned in the first book when we meet her.
So the reason why she and Ava are breaking into the house is because it has occurred to Ever that
the red juice has been poisoned.
That Damon's red special drink is being poisoned. And she's like, okay, I'm going to go. I need to give him some of my stash because he needs it more than me. And so she brings like half of her stash of red drink. And when they get there, Ava's like, I'm poor. I've never been able to tour a house like this. We're going to do a house tour real quick. And for whatever reason,
do a YouTube style house tour.
For whatever reason, they do that. And then they're just like at the fridge changing out red drink. And Damon has like all kinds of food there, which he's never had, obviously, because they don't eat. And also his wall of portraits.
Yeah, all of his old stuff is gone.
All of his old stuff is gone. And
it's bachelor patty now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're, mid just changing out all the drinks. Also, Ever tries one of the drinks.
It's gross.
And it's gross.
There's something wrong with it. So
also no mention on how old Ava even looks.
Okay.
we're supposed to assume that, but she like
I assume
owns
she's
a
I'm
original.
guessing
business.
she's like in her 20s. I'm guessing.
She's supposed to be a mentor figure, like whatever. So yeah, so they're changing everything out. They're almost done when Damon walks in and he's like,
Because of course.
what the fuck are you doing in my house? What the hell? Oh my god. And yeah, then he freaks out.
He goes to call the
Pours
police
all
and
that
she has to
stuff.
like, yeah. And she has to like
Yeah, so he gets rid of the tampered drink and the untampered
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah, and then he goes to call the police and she telekinetically stops him from hitting like the last one. She's like, "We're going," and he's like, and they leave, I guess.
Yes, they
And then
leave.
he tells everyone at school.
Yeah,
that she broke into his
everyone at
house.
school is like, you're a stalker.
And Haven and Miles have to like do an intervention, and they're like, "Dude, you're getting creepy." Like the teachers are trying to do an intervention, and she's like, "Stop it, stop it!" And they're like, "It's none of your business how much I stalk my ex, okay?"
Well, one of the teachers, like, she has a long conversation with because he's like, this isn't okay, it's illegal, and she's like, first of all,
it's
and
Munez.
well, no, it's the first
No,
one.
it's
Munez, she
Oh,
has
it's
a
the
different-
English teacher? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a different because Munez is a different conversation. Because the first teacher, she's like, first of all, I'm being bullied by everybody, and what evidence do you actually have to like back that up? It's just a rumor, and you're yelling at me based on a rumor.
And that, like, I'm pretty sure she also goes like, "And until I am proven guilty in a court of law, you can't
Yes, she
accuse me
does.
of this."
Yes, she does.
I will say, like, if I was a teacher and I had a student come up and say, "Look, the person I told you that was stalking me recently? Yeah, she broke into my freaking house. She broke into my house on the weekend. I don't feel safe near her." And then you go to talk to that student, and she goes, "Until I am convicted in a court of law, how dare you?" I would be like, "You're a fucking crazy stalker bitch."
Yes, yeah. I would go to the principal. I would be like, "Hi,
Like, that is
you
not-
need to call her."
Like, I mean,
Call her.
the point of what she is saying is not incorrect.
No.
The approach that she is taking sounds like someone
Who is definitely guilty.
who is definitely guilty.
Well, the other thing she says though is like, although this point is kind of underscored by the fact that she
She is in fact breaking into his house. Like she
well,
is actually
also
doing
the
that.
fact that she got expelled last year for other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's also, like, when he first is like, "Hey, so are you breaking into Damon's house now?" She's just like, "That hasn't been proven yet."
Well, it's underscored by the fact that she got like drunk and got herself expelled.
Yeah.
But the other thing she says to him is like, "My grades are perfect."
Yep.
And all this other stuff. And she's like, "I'm a perfect student. Leave me alone. These are really nasty rumors. And I think you're being really mean to me. And that's not very nice of you."
Yeah.
And that's when I'm going to the principal, like, as a teacher, I'm going to the principal and be like, "We need to convince this kid to get a restraining order."
Yeah, I was like, something needs to be done here.
Like, she's not like, she says multiple times, like, "Look, like, I'm not good at the lies." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not. You're guilty, and you're guilty, and everyone else knows you're fucking guilty because you suck at lying."
But then she's in history class and she's like really distracted. So she's just like, when she's distracted in class and a teacher is trying to call her out to answer questions, all she has to do is just see what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just doing that kind of on autopilot. And then he's like, "What did I have for dinner last night?" or whatever. And she just straight up answers. And he's like,
2 lamb chops and a glass of Chianti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck it was.
And he's like, "The fuck?" And then after class, he's like, "How do you
How
do
do
it?"
you know?
He's like, "The
He's like-
fuck."
He's like, "How the fuck do you do it?" And she's like, "Well, I'm gonna time travel anyway." So she just
Yep.
tells him.
I see shit, and I think is that when she's like, look, if this is all going to get undone anyway, so yeah, ask her the fuck out. Is that? Is this? Yeah, she gives him the green light to try to bang her aunt.
Yes, she does.
Imagine his shock when he finds out that this chick that he's been crushing on for a week is his freak student's aunt and guardian. Would you, if you were him, would you nope out at that point?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be like, I don't want to get involved.
Because if I get invested, then I'm her guardian. Absolutely.
I mean, that said, though, like, while he's confused and intrigued by her, he doesn't seem scared of her, or like he seems to be firmly on her side.
Yes.
Or at least sympathetic and empathetic to her current situation. So, with that in mind, do you still nope out?
Yeah.
If it's me, absolutely not.
You wouldn't nope out.
Oh, I would. Sorry. I thought you said, like, would you still make out with the aunt? I was like, no.
Oh, no, nope out.
Nope out, absolutely.
Yeah, like.
Absolutely. Like, no, I'm not.
I mean, knowing that she knows everything that you ever think.
Yeah, like, you couldn't bang your girlfriend in the same house as her.
Well, not just that, but like especially especially at the beginning of a relationship, you have a lot of naughty thoughts about your new person every time you see them. And Sabine apparently is like banging. She's banging hot, right?
Yeah.
So like all she needs to do is like, just exist in his presence the next morning. And he's going to remember what happened last night. Like, do you want that in front of your student? Do you want that in front of, like...
That feels like it's breaking some laws. I don't know why.
Child. Like, I would... I mean, there'd have to come a point where, like, he would have to sit down and be like, look, can you turn this off? Can you turn it off? Because she can now, because her and Ava make a quantum remote.
Yes.
That just magically works. And it's like, why didn't you think of this like months ago, where it's just like, oh yeah, no, I just have to have an imaginary clicker. Like, and now it works. But I don't know, like you'd have to have a serious conversation about telepathic boundaries before you would even consider the relationship.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do it.
I don't think I could either. All right. So we're getting ready to time travel. And Damon's really not doing good. So she takes him to Ava.
Oh yeah, because now he's getting bullied at school.
Yes. And we also break into Roman's house, but nothing, literally nothing. We just walk in and look at his fridge. That's right.
We had the hypnotize the breaky thing because it's like lunchtime and Damon walks up and he looks like he's like, gone like 10 rounds with all of the drugs for 8 days straight.
Yes.
And everyone's like, lol, what a loser. And she's like, why are they doing this to him now? And Roman's just like, ta-da. And she's like, stop it. Everyone wake up. And no one wakes up. And then she's like, oh, wait, no. When I count to 3, you're all going to wake up. 1, 2, 3. And everyone's just like, why are we friends? And then they all just break up. And she's like, yay, no one is unified anymore. And then she takes Damon back to...
Then she takes Damon to Ava, and it's vague, but it seems like he's aged a lot.
Yeah, have we mentioned like that she went to a store and bought a bunch of spell ingredients?
Yeah.
But they don't come up again.
That.
I don't think she uses them to time travel.
No, it's for Damon. It's the antidote for Damon that won't work.
Oh. What is it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, that's the antidote.
Oh, well, that's not clear at all. Anyway.
Yeah, it's the antidote for Damon.
Because we find out later that Romy, I think it was Romy, like put that ingredient list into her head.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
So she leaves that with Ava.
And yeah, then we go back to Roman's house again. She writes herself a bullet list of like, remember, don't go back for the sweatshirt. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Or don't do this.
Also,
don't do that.
Damon.
It's
Remember
like
Damon.
don't go back for the sweatshirt.
Damon.
What's the second
That is,
thing?
I can't remember. Be careful of don't trust Drina.
Don't trust Drina. Damon
Number
with a
3,
heart.
definitely don't go back for the sweatshirt. And number 4, Damon love her.
Yeah.
Yes. So then we break into Roman's house to transport to the past for some reason. So then, she got rid of all his immortal juice, and then we're in the past. And
Yes.
she's like, things are weird. I know things, but I don't know things. All I know is I don't like my boyfriend. And
no. She goes to Summerland from Roman's house and then goes
to the past. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's in class.
Yeah, she doesn't like her boyfriend, and
she's confused as to why, because like 10 minutes ago she thought it was the smaxiest thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm. And then she finds the note, and she's like, "Don't go back for the sweatshirt. Who's Damon?" Meh, 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 meh. And then in the car that like her family dies in, Riley just turns and is like, "You thought you could change things? You thought you could?" And is like really creepy, and then just goes right back to normal.
Well, no,
and
she's
then
like,
they get hit by a truck.
No, real quick, like the whole
She's like, "Fine, Damon."
The whole conversation is like a little bit more than that, because she's like, "You thought you could change things? You shouldn't have changed things. Maybe did you ever consider that maybe we were meant to die and you were meant to go on? You need to go back and find Damon." And like, so she tells her a lot more than just that, but
yeah, but like that's the gist.
And
of
honestly,
it.
though, I was like a little bummed. I was like, because I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I forgot that this happened because it's inconsequential. But I was like, honestly, like, let's go from here. Like, let's do this.
Yeah, honestly, that would have been much more interesting.
It would have been kind of interesting. I'm like, yeah, let's keep her parents alive, and like, let's have her have to like reconnect with Sabine, maybe because she likes Sabine better and she's more comfy with Sabine. I don't know. Like, this is interesting.
But no, she immediately goes back after the car hits them.
Yeah,
or the truck hits them.
Yeah, and that's one question I have. Like, has she created a new timeline, or is that just like a vision of like it's not going to work? Like, have her parents now? Is her family now dead from deer or dead from truck?
Either way, her parents die.
Her parents are still dead. Her sister's still dead. Her dog's still dead.
The same way.
Yes.
All that. So we've killed Buttercup twice. R.I.P. Buttercup times 2.
Yeah, we killed the dog twice.
It's okay. Buttercup lives on in the Riley Bloom series. Great. Riley and Buttercup go on missions together.
I don't want to read that.
At least this is okay. I don't. You know what? This isn't a spoiler at this point because the book's been out for a long time. At least we only killed a dog once.
Yeah, in Blackwoods, we only killed him once.
Still not good.
No, it's not good. It's really not good.
We know,
but you know what?
We don't kill dogs. Okay?
Ours was worse though.
Ours was so bad.
Yeah, but I doubt it was as insufferable. Like, I mean, I like Labradors. Like, Labradors are adorable. They're sweet. They're cute. I hate this dog. I'm so sick of hearing about this sweet yellow lab Buttercup.
Ours was like a Twilight-sized wolf. So.
I know it, but
yeah. If you're ever wondering, by the way, if you're ever reading Blackwoods and you're like, I think we describe it pretty well. But if you would like a visual, our inspiration for the size anyway is like we actually have a Google Drive with like the
reference images,
and one of our reference images is for like how to describe the size was literally just the wolf from Twilight. They're
next to Bella,
big.
just Jacob next to Bella, yeah. Whole thing.
Anyway.
Anyways, so we come back. Roman's there, and Roman's like
Broman's
there, and he's like, well, Damon killed Drina, so I must kill him. And she's like, wait, no.
And he's like, Ava's gone, Damon's still alive. More hot.
Yeah, and she's like, I killed Drina, and he's like, oh shit, we gotta save Damon.
So she runs into the room where Damon is.
Yeah, and one of the Shining twins
is in there.
Rainy.
I thought it was
Stormy
that was in there.
Thunderclap.
I can't remember which one's the hissing twin.
The grumpy twin.
The grumpy twin.
Yeah.
The grumpy
and the
Shining
grumpy twin is like, please, obviously, don't trust the villain.
Yeah.
And Everbloom. Everbloom Buttercup murdering aficionado is like, I think I will trust the villain.
So
and,
yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
Thunderclap is like,
and we established as well, like her and Riley were buds. The twins and Riley were friends before.
Yeah,
Riley
the
was
Shining
yeah.
Twins.
Yeah, the Shining Twins and right. She's like, me and I think it's at this point that that Shining Twin 2 is like, hey, me and your sister, like we were like the three of us were buds. We showed your sister around, and Ever is like, oh yeah, Riley said something about that. I don't trust you anyway. And she's like, why the fuck not? Why are you such an idiot? And Ever's like, why should I believe that he'll be alive for hours? And she's like, because that's literally the villain. And then Roman's like, you're really gonna sit around and wait? I have the antidote right here. And they're like, we literally gave you the recipe for the antidote. What the fuck is wrong with you? And she's like, I don't know, man. And
because at this point, other twin is running around making a new antidote.
Mm-hmm.
And she's
like, it'll be ready, and it will be ready at nightfall.
Yeah, and she's like, we literally put the circle around him. I don't know how they're circling or whatever. I don't know. It's not explained. It doesn't matter.
I'm guessing it's a salt circle.
She's like,
yeah, probably.
If you break the circle, he'll die like almost immediately. Please don't do it. Yeah,
Roman can get in and Roman
can kill him, and also he'll die faster. So like, just don't do it. Just trust us. Riley trusted us. You can trust us. We gave you the recipe for the antidote. Like, we haven't done anything bad to you.
We tried to stop you from going back in time and doing all this shit in the first place, because if you didn't leave, Ava wouldn't have taken off with all the elixir and the antidote.
We also don't know why Ava took off. We can assume that it's...
We also don't know why she went back to the past. It was inconsequential.
Yeah, Damon knew Ava. He did a reading, which implies that he could have hypnotized her. I'm hoping that that's what it was.
Yeah. So, they're like trying to talk her out of it, but she's like, clearly the
Roman's the right choice.
Is the trustworthy person here. So Roman's like, okay, take this antidote, but also, make sure that you cut yourself and just dump all of your blood in it. So she takes a pair of scissors and
decapitates her wrist.
She literally just thunk and like into an artery, and because it's like a geysers, like it's a geyser of blood.
Speaking of, sorry, just a really, 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 really quick tangent before I forget. Guess what my son made in the bath last night? He was so proud of himself.
What?
He gets out of the bath and he's like, Mommy, I made a geyser in the bath. And I'm like, how do you even know that word? He's like, I made bubbles in a cup and water, and I went, psst. And I'm like,
oh, that's awesome.
Like, I was impressed, but I was like, what the fuck? That was all. Sorry, carry on.
Also, brief mention of like SH here, but I do appreciate that while Ever was injuring her wrist, it was, she didn't do it in a traditionally triggering way. Instead, she just took scissors and just like
it was like, not gonna lie, like the way she did it was kind of graphic. Like,
but I will say I don't think it was a triggering way to do it, and I do appreciate that. Good for her. Because like just right into an artery and just like. She's like, it goes up in the air. She like literally describes it as the blood shoots up and hangs in the air for a second before. So I don't even know how you aim arterial spray into a bottle, but like she figures it out.
Here is the direct thing. Then I bring the scissors down hard, watching as their sharp pointy tip penetrates my wrist, nearly splitting it in two, shooting a geyser of blood straight into the air before gravity takes over and pushes it down. Hearing Rain. Oh, okay. So this is Rain in there. So Rain's the one and Romy's the other one. Hearing Rain scream, a wail so piercing it cuts through the sound of everything else as Roman crouches beneath me, collecting my blood. So now I'm picturing like those like really like those 2D games where the balls are dropping and then you're running and you have to direct left and right with the basket.
Yeah,
like to catch the balls. He's doing that with her blood drops.
Yes.
But also at this point, like Rain is
with her arterial spray.
you know, Rain is pulling a Darth Vader, right? And
Yeah.
at this point, she still could have stopped.
Yeah, like she still doesn't have to take it in there because at this point, all she's done is like three
that
quarters of the way
reaction,
severed
'cause
her hand.
Rain's reaction still could have made her go,
This ain't good.
maybe not, but nope. She's like, I'm gonna save Damon, and so she yeets in there, and you know, now Rain is really freaked out, so she just backs away.
And she's huddling
terrified.
against the wall.
She's terrified
Yep.
of Roman, so she just like, you know, thunks the liquid to Damon and like forces him to drink it, and it does fix him.
Oh, it does.
But then
does.
Roman's
And
like,
then Roman's just like,
you
fucking
have
idiot."
fallen from my evil plan. and
You may not
And
have
it's
sex.
better.
And then Ever's like, but he's
Just kill
better.
me.
And Roman's like, oh, yes, but there is a caveat, you stupid idiot. You see, this whole time I knew that you were the one that murdered Drina. So you see, I have included a punishment for, you see, because of your done. This doesn't make any sense, by the way. Don't worry about it. None of this book makes sense, as you've probably realized. So like, don't just this doesn't make sense to me either. So keep that in mind. He says, because your DNA was in the antidote, now
DNA will
you
reactivate
cannot
the poison.
exchange DNA again. I don't know why. I don't
Because
get
it will reactivate the poison.
Oh, right. Because it will I don't understand why that works. But
I
anyway,
don't-
It's fine.
because it will
I don't
reactivate
know.
the poison. So any kind of fluid exchange. Is this an allegory for AIDS?
I don't know.
Moving on. Any kind of
Like,
fluid
luckily they don't
exchange. So any intercourse.
Yeah, even if you
know,
cry on his
but
shoulder, he'll
but that's
die.
not really a fluid exchange. That's just
Unless he
Moving-
like
it's-
licks the tear up.
No, but I think it's as like nuanced as like if she accidentally is like talking to him and accidentally spits, he's dead.
Yeah, she
It
can't-
touches his skin.
You can't
Dead.
look excitedly near him.
fluid exchange is like medically understood as like literally swapping fluids.
Mm,
And that.
See, and that is your fatal flaw. You're expecting real life reason and reality to exist as much as is possible in a book with immortal people.
So anyway, he's like, any sort of bodily fluids in his general vicinity, or your general, I guess your bodily fluids anywhere near him, and he dies. So no the devil's tango, no kissing, no crying, no sweating, no spitting in his general direction. And she's like, no. But then the second he wakes up, she hugs him.
Yep. And then he's like, "What are we gonna do?"
Like, what
and
if-
she's like,
what if-
"Anything."
What if
Like-
you're
like,
what if
what the
you're
hell?
like
What if-
sweating? Because here's the thing, you
Ow.
naturally just so this is how specific it is. Okay, your skin naturally just has a little layer of oil on it all
Yep.
the time.
Mhm.
All the time. There's just
That you
are
made.
just even if you have dry skin, there's still
There's still oil.
There's still a little layer of oil on your skin at all times. So she just killed him.
Well, I have another question, right? Because I know he was saying like fluid exchange, but I think he was mainly saying that to make a point because it was just any sort of your DNA entering his system in any way, shape, or form. What if when she hugged him, because she's got super long hair now, right? Like it's Rapunzel. What, like my hair isn't that long, and it ends up like if I was to just like violently hug Stixie, some of it would end up in his mouth.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
He would be displeased. Like he's not going to be like, oh yeah, I love that hair. He's going to be like, ugh. But it would get in there. And does that count?
Well,
Does
yeah,
the
'cause they're-
accidental touching
That
of the
would
inside?
require rules to this universe,
Well,
Because-
yeah,
Sarah.
because also,
Because the
by the
thing
way,
is
your hair is also coated in a
Oil.
Yeah.
thin layer
And-
of oil or thick one.
and
depending.
what's even worse is like your gums, right? You know how like they're a completely different texture to, you know, for example, your skin.
Mm-hmm.
That is because it's like much like the inside of your nose, that they are what is called a mucous membrane.
Yep.
Which is why, for example, when you see people playing sport and you see them take a sip of water, keep it in their mouth for a few seconds and spit it out, their body is already absorbing a lot of that moisture into their system without it entering their stomachs so they don't get a stitch. So your gums are very absorbent. Isn't that dangerous?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well, again, there are several. I know that there are several times in the next book where they touch, or whatever. Like they touch in this book, but again, if we're talking about any, because also your skin is porous, you can absorb things through your skin.
Yeah.
And again, like the reason why
which
your
is
skin,
how creams work.
the reason why your skin can be soft is because you have a natural layer of oil on your skin, which is a fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Like bodily fluid is complicated.
They should just break up. They should just break up. Like,
anyway,
They don't though.
Yeah,
no.
bodily fluid.
I think there was a period where they kind of do. I could be completely wrong. Again, it's been a decade, but there may or may not be at least a temporary breakup.
I wish I cared.
And I don't know
But
what
that's the
that
book.
would be in.
Yeah,
No,
but
that's the book.
again, like if you're gonna make
And
the
she doesn't
rule-
tell him. She doesn't tell
No.
him.
No.
she doesn't immediately say, "So this is awkward." She just says, "I don't know when I'm gonna tell him or how," and I'm like, "You need to say something immediately!" Oh my god, because
He's gonna try to kiss you, and then you're gonna have to be like, swerve.
because again, even touching him is really dangerous at this point. Because if you're sweating just a little bit and he touches you, if the rule is any bodily fluid exchange, then him touching your sweat, if it absorbs through his skin, he's dead. But she probably doesn't think of that, so it doesn't matter. And I get that, but like.
And I mean, and it's different if he's like, you know what, I'm willing to take that risk, but he doesn't even know. He's unable to give informed consent to her potentially committing homicide against him, which is rude.
But again, rules unclear. So, like, I mean, obviously he's the main love interest. Like, he's not gonna die, or if he does, it won't matter. But like,
yeah, like I know how it ends. Like as a general thing, like honestly, guys, there is a part. It's in the last book, and all I'm gonna say is, it's the part where everyone is. I don't want to say running because that implies like I guess eloping. The scene where everyone is eloping, you guys are going to want to delete yourselves. It is that cringy from memory.
Great.
like I know that these books just get worse and weirder as you go on. Like, again, books 1 and 2 surprisingly are. I know if you've never read them, they make you very angry.
Yeah.
But like after having read subsequent books,
Yeah,
honestly,
and from memory, the key to the solution of the overarching thing at the end of the book, like the key to that thing, is also going to infuriate you. From memory, if I'm remembering it correctly, which I'm pretty sure I am.
yeah, because I remember because this is where I rage quit. I will be much more passionate next book, I'm sure. And then from there on, it's just that at this point I am numb right now. That so we'll do that soon.
It's fucking retarded. It's so stupid. Like this whole series is so stupid. And I know how it ends, and I'm already getting annoyed because I've had forgotten how it ended, and then as I was listening to it today, visions started popping in my head of like things that I remembered imagining when I first read it.
The reviews for these books are so high on Amazon. Like,
of course they are, because the reviews are like 20 years old or 15 years old. So they're written by 12-year-olds in the noughties when this was like prime freaking real estate for YA. Like there was a period where we all liked House of Night. Come on.
Yeah, I
We
know.
were young and stupid.
Well, actually, I will say, like, it wasn't like after I think book 3, we were like hate reading it even in 7th grade for the
But
most part.
yes, but you still enjoyed the first ones. And now it's just the first ones are just the best books of the series. They're still not good books. It's like, well, at least they kind of had a plot.
Yeah.
Oh no.
What?
Also, like, so some of the reviews
you
are like,
actually-
I want it to get worse.
huh?
I don't want it to get worse. It's already so bad.
So some of the reviews are like, this is clearly a knockoff of Twilight, and I kind of disagree with that assessment.
Let's actually confirm, when was Twilight published? 2005.
Well, and this was the second book in the series. Hold on.
Evermore was published in 2009.
Oh.
So like it could. Here's the thing, though. Having read both Twilight and this, and like the Vampire Diaries and some other stuff, I'm hesitant to say that it's a ripoff directly
just a trope.
I'm hesitant to say that it's a ripoff directly of Twilight, because in my opinion, it takes more inspiration from the original Vampire Diaries books,
Yeah, I agree.
having read those, than it does from, especially the style, because the style is so floaty and crazy. Like the Twilight, especially Twilight itself, is a
It has distinct scenes.
Yeah, it's a much more grounded book, and also like, I'm not saying it's like the picture of literary excellence, but
No.
Twilight reads really, really different from this. And
plot themes or relationship themes are similar, but
that's
a trope.
It wasn't
pretty
new
normal.
with Twilight.
But I would say that like L.J. Smith's writing, because I've also read other L.J. Smith books. I read several of them when I was younger, like Her Night World series and stuff. This reads a lot more like that than it does Twilight. Like another L.J. Smith like story had a reincarnating girl who was being followed around by some guy. So this is sort of like, this feels like a mix of that story and Vampire Diaries. Again, the book's not the show. It feels more like a mix of that than it does Twilight. I don't see a lot of actual Twilight in here.
No.
No, I mean, like again, like there's definitely some tropes and like that are the same tropes that are in Twilight, but it's again though tropes are called tropes because they're repeated over and over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
but when it comes to like hardcore borrowed like aesthetics and writing styles and story beats and stuff like that, I'm not like, Twilight is not what I would compare it to.
Mm-mm.
No, but it's
Because,
stupid.
like, for example, dead parents in a car crash, living with aunt, Vampire Diaries.
Mm-hmm.
Not Twilight at all.
Italian, multiple centuries old boyfriend.
600-year-old Italian boyfriend, Twilight. Or, sorry, Vampire Diaries.
All we need is Damon's brother Stefan to show up, and then it will get really weird.
His name is literally
Damon.
Damon.
Steven.
Yeah, his name's literally Damon.
I know, but it's different spelling.
Oh, crazy ex-girlfriend from way back when.
Yep.
Yeah, so I feel like his brother in this would be Steven, just because I feel like we have to be in it.
We also have like crazy other dimension which is a thing that's actually in the Vampire Diaries books.
Yeah.
Like, the Vampire Diaries books are whack. Like,
she's got her resident witch in Ava, I guess.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's not strictly a
Ava's-
witch, but she's witchy.
Yeah.
And then in the books, Elena like turns out she's part fucking angel or something. So
Yeah.
like she's got magical powers. So I think it is. I think you're right. And difference is though, Eva's not like other girls. Even when she was a popular cheerleader, she wasn't mean.
yeah, that's true.
She told us this book. She wasn't like other popular girls. She was never a bitch.
So anyway,
That's the
yeah,
book.
so we'll be doing Shadowland next. I think is the next book in the series.
It's
Yeah,
I guess so.
it's Shadowland. And honestly, look, shit hits the fan in the first book, but I'm gonna be honest, this is where shit really hits the fan. So be ready for that.
And the combination of dreading it and
At least
excited.
you're prepared. Like you know what's coming, babe. So I don't.
Oh,
think
I know
it's
what's
gonna make you
coming,
rage
and
quit.
you know what? No matter what, I'm gonna make it through.
Well, we're not
You
gonna
said
let
you would not rage quit.
I'm not gonna rage quit. I won't do it.
I think half of the issue last time was you weren't expecting that. Now that you're expecting, I don't know if it'll infuriate you to the point of wanting to throw your phone at the wall to make it stop playing.
I mean, it might, but like, you know.
But you can prepare yourself though.
I won't rage quit.
Yeah,
I
and
think
Addie's
they-
mission next book will be to
Is
guess.
to figure out what made you rage quit.
I think honestly, I think it'll be super easy. I think it'll be so obvious.
Can you at least tell me how far into the book it is? Like
Not
approximately
really.
when
Give
unless
me-
I read it.
Give me a minute. I will see if I can find it.
Like I don't want a chapter. I just want to know if it's like the first half of the book or the second half of the book.
I will.
It's hard to tell. It's hard for me to say. I don't really remember. This was a while ago.
And there she goes.
Because also,
There she-
like, I don't know. Because, like, yeah, I'm prepared for this one, but I don't remember book 4 or 5 or 6 at all. So, like, you know, and I know though that they just get weirder and weirder and weirder. I know that they just deteriorate with every installment.
Okay, let's have a look. Is that even okay? That is. I got that thing I texted you that I wasn't sure about before, Faye. I had that correct.
Okay.
Where is it? Oh no. Just so you're aware, it's not Ava. Next book.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Just
can't
open the
find.
first
I can't find the thing.
Okay.
It's okay.
Sorry, I can't find the thing.
Oh, this one's longer than the last one.
Great.
Great.
All right. Well, we'll figure out when we're gonna do it. We'll do it soon, though.
Yes.
We'll power through these.
It's 46 chapters and
All right.
400 some odd ebook pages.
But we'll try to get to this one like next week, let's say.
yeah, I
Yeah.
should
work
be
it
able
out.
to do it.
Would you guys be able to just do next Friday?
I
Look at
will
my calendar.
be. Is it going to be another morning?
It can be.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do night, but I can do morning.
We'll plan on that.
Okay, and if need be, we will
We can change
reschedule.
it, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So that's what we're doing, and we're gonna try to just power through this because
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, so we will
All right.
see you guys
Yeah, we
next time.